EU leaders failed to agree on a way forward on using frozen Russian assets based in Belgium as a way of funding Ukraine over the next 2 years. The European Commission and EU leaders say the money should be transferred to Ukraine to pay for weapons and for their budgetary expenses as they defend themselves against the Russian invasion. But the Belgian government says there are too many risks for their financial sector, including potential heavy legal costs for it to proceed with the so-called reparations loan.
This is a topic that is certainly not trivial. It's very complex, and therefore we discussed it, but it was also very clear that there are points to be clarified and to have a deep dive and to work more on them. So in other words, we agreed on the what, that is the reparations loan, and we have to work on the how.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky addressed leaders earlier in the day, welcoming the passing of the 19th package of sanctions targeting Russian energy giants and promising to bring forward a complete end to the use of Russian fossil fuels in Europe. Zelensky says his country needed the money from the reparations loan from Russian assets to produce weapons.
We need to use any kind of Russian money for Ukrainian production and increase it. It's cheaper and quicker. And we speak, first of all, about long range. It's about drones. It's about electronic warfare, systems of electronic warfare, and it's about missiles. If Russia is ready to speak, we're ready to speak. This is the plan between us. The plan begins from ceasefire. The plan begins even not with ceasefire. The plan begins with will to sit and speak. Not to stand and fight using, all the kind of missiles against just civilians.
EU leaders have agreed that a decision on using frozen Russian assets held in Belgian banks to be used in Ukraine will be made at the next EU summit in December. It's also possible that other countries outside the EU, like the UK or Canada, could participate. But for now, the European Commission is tasked with addressing and coming up with solutions for Belgium's very strongly held objections. Shona Murray, Euronews, Brussels.